way 50 Cent been playing with Ricky's name is wild. Right when everybody thought this beef between them couldn't get any pettier, 50 jumped online acting like he just uncovered the craziest rumor floating around hip-hop. He's now clowning Ross for paying his staff with food stamps. That's just the kind of trolling lane 50 be swerving into. Once 50 sees a rumor that even hints at Rozay being broke, he's gonna snatch it, flip it, and blast it straight to the internet like it's breaking news. Now nobody's taking that food stamp story like it's gospel. It started as straight up social media chaos. A meme here, a joke there, and then 50 grabbed it with both hands like. Why? Because that's his favorite angle, Rozay's pockets. The moment he sees anything he can spin into, Rick Ross is secretly struggling. He's already sharpening the jokes before the rumor even finishes loading on his phone. And that's been 50's move for years. Any tiny slip, any little tax story, any weird headline that even suggests Ross might have had a rough week financially, 50 jumps on it like he's doing charity work exposing rappers. It's never subtle either. 50 Cent will gladly let everyone know that he wants smoke. That's just how he rolls. 50 knows exactly what he's doing. Plant that seed of doubt, make people wonder if the big boss lifestyle got some cracks in it. But the reason this rumor even started is the part gets way pettier than anybody expected. 50 Cent is the same dude who mocked Ross's giant mansion, asking why a rich boss got caught cutting his own grass like he's trying to save a couple dollars on landscaping.
What kind of rich cut his own grass? Why you out there cutting your own grass?
It's the same energy he put into that Officer Ricky cartoon series. Those jokes about Ross renting cars, borrowing jewelry, and all that other exaggerated money talk he uses to hit Rozay right in the image he loves the most, the boss persona. So the moment a rumor hinted Ross might be struggling, 50 treated it like a clearance sale on insults. He amplified it through every lane he had. Captions, jokes, spicy little posts. It's his signature move. Stir the pot, aim at the wallet, and let the internet run wild. And for 50, this wasn't random. He built a whole career making his rivals look financially upside down. Ja Rule, Mayweather, Diddy. If you've ever stood too close to 50 Cent during an argument, he's probably clowned your bank account at least once. But here's where things get weird. The timing of 50's joke lined up with real financial smoke around Ross. Right when fans were already clowning Ross with that food stamp rumor, some real paperwork popped up, and it turned the internet into a whole detective agency. Ross got hit with a nearly $65,000 tax lien out of Georgia for unpaid taxes from 2021. And yeah, on paper that sounds dramatic, until you realize Ross is sitting on an estimated $150 million. 65 bands to him is like finding a crumpled 20 in the laundry, but the problem wasn't the amount. It was the optics. The lien started at around $29,000, then ballooned with interest, penalties, and fees stacked on top like the government wanted to embarrass him on purpose. Suddenly, the final number was pushing $65,000 tied to his massive promised land estate, the same property he flexes every chance he gets. And once any official document with Ross's name on it hits the internet, 50 Cent treats it like VIP access to new comedy material. He doesn't even wait. He weaponizes stuff like this instantly. Court filings, tax liens, receipts. If it's public and it makes Ross look even slightly messy, 50 will wave it around like a victory parade. 50 saw an open lane when real paperwork hit the timeline, and suddenly his trolling didn't sound completely detached from reality anymore. He used that tax lien to make the rumor feel way bigger than it actually was, as if the government itself was co-signing his Rozay broke storyline. But the tax issue isn't the only thing that gave 50 ammo. We gotta talk about 50's favorite hobby, blowing his rivals' situations way out of proportion. This man doesn't wait for facts. He waits for opportunities, and once he sees one, it turns into a whole comedy saga. You can see the pattern all the way back with Ja Rule. When the Firefest disaster hit the timeline, 50 didn't even pause. He jumped in with memes, wild captions, and joke after joke, like Ja personally designed those cheese sandwiches. The festival already looked ridiculous, but 50 knew how to twist the narrative so it felt like Ja was the face of the whole collapse. That's when people realized 50 doesn't chase truth, he chases punchlines. Then you slide over to how he handles Puffy, and the vibe switches, but the intention stays the same. He used to make fun of Puff almost on an everyday basis. During Diddy's trial, he would see more jokes on Diddy's account than there were news news and updates about his case. Next, you get to Floyd Mayweather, and 50 pivots again. This time, the jokes center on Floyd's interviews and scripted moments. That whole "he's reading lines" joke, classic 50. Even when Floyd isn't doing anything dramatic, 50 will pull one small thing and stretch it into a running bit. He knows exactly which flaw to poke until it turns into a full-blown meme. And when you line up these moments side by side, the formula becomes crystal clear. 50 isn't looking for scandals. He's looking for narrative fuel. He grabs whatever exists, whether it's a real situation, a tiny detail, or a vibe he can exaggerate, and he spins it into something 10 times bigger. Which brings us right back to Rick Ross, because Rozay's whole brand is power, money, luxury, the boss lifestyle. To 50, that's basically a giant red bullseye. Anytime Ross slips, even a little, a tax lien, a lawsuit, a headline that looks weird out of context, that's automatic trolling material. 50 treats every crack in the boss image like it's his personal playground, and Ross doesn't just sit there and take it. His response is where this whole thing swerves into another lane completely. Now here's where the whole thing really starts cooking, because if there's one thing Rick Ross loves, it's looking like the biggest boss the culture has ever seen. He doesn't just flex, he broadcasts it. We're talking massive estates, fleets of cars, Wingstop franchises stacked like trading cards, exotic animals strolling across his lawn, and photo ops that scream, "I'm richer than your imagination." And to be fair, that's Ross's whole identity. He built his kingdom off the boss narrative, the mogul image, the entrepreneur storyline, the empire builder angle. Every house tour, every luxury toy, every farm animal he randomly buys is part of the brand. It's the Ross aesthetic, grand, loud, larger than life. But here's where things flip. Every time Ross leans into that lifestyle, 50 Cent treats it like a challenge. To 50, Ross's flexing isn't just flexing, it's bait. It gives him targets, it gives him openings, and it gives him material to flip the script into something way messier. Fans have been pointing this out for years. The bigger Ross flexes, the harder 50 pushes the fake rich jokes. It's almost like the louder Ross screams boss, the louder 50 screams broke. And even when Ross is clearly eating, clearly winning, 50 finds a way to twist the moment into something embarrassing. That's why the food stamp rumor hit so hard online. People started clowning that Ross was flexing luxury on a borrowed budget, and the internet ran with it. The joke wasn't that Ross was actually broke. The joke was the contrast. The idea of a man standing next to $1 million buffalo while paying staff in food stamps is exactly the kind of ridiculous setup 50 lives for. He doesn't care if it's real. He cares that it's funny. And when Ross is out here showing off castles and farm animals, 50 sees the perfect setup, a boss image begging to get poked. But the story doesn't stop at flexes, because the real turning point came when Ross's legal issues started stacking up, and that's when 50 went into overdrive. Now Ross wasn't just flexing, he also started hitting real-life bumps that 50 could spin. Over the years, Rozay has faced multiple lawsuits tied to events he organized, business dealings, and even personal disputes. Some of these are serious, others routine celebrity headaches. But for 50, every little thing is an avenue. Take the booking issues, for example. Ross was sued for allegedly not paying booking agents and promoters tens of thousands of dollars after canceled shows, including a reported $171,000 owed to Total Access Entertainment. Then there was the lawsuit from a disabled fan over inadequate wheelchair access at one of his Atlanta car shows, a situation Ross addressed, but still, the public paperwork existed. He's also tangled in copyright and defamation suits, like the case from Freeway Ricky Ross over the use of his name, and there were photographers claiming he used images without permission. DJ Vlad even sued over an alleged ambush incident. All of these, in isolation, are the kind of headaches any high-profile celebrity might deal with, part of running big events and managing a multifaceted business. But 50 doesn't see nuance. He sees narrative fuel. Every court filing, every headline, every dollar owed becomes a little spike in his ongoing Rozay broke storyline. Fans caught on to it fast. The lawsuits combined with the Georgia tax lien and the social media food stamp jokes created this wild, swirling rumor ecosystem. People weren't just laughing at one thing anymore. They were connecting the dots, seeing Ross flex, hearing about the minor legal troubles, and suddenly the narrative of financial instability felt real, at least online. And that's just the start, because 50's response didn't stop there. Once he jumped in, things escalated fast, and the internet couldn't get enough. Once the lawsuits, jokes, the tax story, and the flexes hit the timeline. 50 didn't just post a tweet and call it a day. He ran with it like a comedian on a stage. And that's the key here. All this trolling, all these jokes, none of it is meant to be taken as fact. 50 isn't filing reports or proving numbers. He's weaponizing absurdity. Every post, every caption, every tag is a calculated move to shape public perception. And it works because he knows how to turn even the smallest rumor into a full-blown narrative. But the craziest part? It wasn't even 50 alone. Fans took these jokes and started spinning them into full-on theories. Once 50 Cent drops a joke, the internet doesn't just scroll past. Fans jump in, remix it, and turn it into a storyline of its own. Platforms like TikTok and X are the perfect playground for this. Short clips, viral formats, hashtags, everything designed to exaggerate and entertain. As you guys know, social media doesn't need proof, it needs drama, and the Ross 50 beef has it in spades. TikTok users will mash up interviews, old posts, and random screenshots into 30-second viral videos, making it look like Ross is struggling financially, even when he's sitting on a reported $150 million net worth. Fans add music, captions, and punchlines to make the story bigger, funnier, and more shareable. On X, users do the same thing but in a different way, tagging Ross, 50, and everyone around them in surround sound fashion, blowing up comments and replies, creating threads that make a simple joke feel like verified drama. And that's the wildest part. The contrast between Ross's actual wealth and these exaggerated storylines makes the whole thing ridiculous. You've got a billionaire-level mogul being painted as broke purely because memes and jokes are running faster than reality. The fans are essentially building their own narrative universe, where every joke, every filing, every small financial hiccup becomes proof in the court of social media. But here's what makes this whole thing even funnier. It's not just the fans or 50, it's how Ross himself reacts to all of it. Let's be real for a second. Rick Ross isn't broke. Estimates put his net worth around $150 million in 2025, and it comes from multiple serious income streams that go way beyond music. First, there's the Wingstop franchise empire. Ross owns multiple locations, generating steady business revenue outside the rap game. Then there's real estate. Sprawling estates like the Promised Land Ranch in Georgia, hundreds of acres, massive mansion, prime assets. Ross has always invested in properties that hold value, and they're a big part of his wealth. Of course, he's still pulling in serious cash from touring and concerts, along with merchandise. That's consistent, high-profile money that fans see in action whenever he hits a stage. And let's not forget his music catalog and royalties. Streaming, licensing, and sales keep the passive income rolling in, even during quiet periods. So the broke narrative, pure comedy. It's a joke, nothing more. And that's exactly why 50 Cent keeps running with it. He doesn't care about the truth. He's not fact-checking Ross's bank account. He's here to entertain, to troll, to create shareable moments that fans can meme and dissect. But if Ross isn't actually broke, then what's really keeping this beef alive in 2025? That's where things get interesting. So when you zoom out, it's wild how we even got here. This whole 50 versus Ross thing didn't start with some street drama or some deep betrayal. It started with a look. Rick Ross and DJ Khaled claimed 50 gave them a weird stare at an award show. 50 said he never even saw them. Then 50's crew, online and offline, started digging. Suddenly, Ross's correctional officer past popped up. French had that Khaled's mom video, and 50, fresh off seeing how Cameron used comedy and beef, switched lanes. He turned the whole thing into a circus. Cartoons, skits, Pimpin' Curly. The man reinvented trolling, but then things got messy. Baby mamas, lawsuits, tapes, stuff that had nothing to do with music. That lawsuit forced 50 to fall back a bit. But up until that point, Ross was getting hit harder than most artists ever survived. And yet he made it out. Ross was underwater musically and publicly. Then out of nowhere, he rebrands like a phoenix, deeper than rap drops. Then Teflon Don, a legit classic. Suddenly he's naming Big Meech and Larry Hoover, which is crazy risky if you're not affiliated. And yet it worked. His image got bigger, not smaller. So how did that happen? Raw talent alone? Maybe. But something else feels like it was in the mix. And this is speculation, but it's the kind of speculation hip-hop has whispered about for years. Did Diddy step in? It does feel like something behind the scenes kept Ross afloat. Maybe Diddy really did step in with a loan and a strategy, because Ross had the voice, the image, the boss persona that could print money. And now Rick is doubling down on the persona and building an empire. 50 pivoted into TV and film, where trolling basically acts as free marketing for every project he drops. So the real question is 50 exposing Ricky again, or is he just promoting his next show the only way he knows how?